Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy. My guest today played 7 seasons in the NFL with stops in Jacksonville, Oakland, and with the New York Giants. He also won season 24 of Dancing with the Stars and is a New York Times bestselling author. That is quite the resume. It's good to meet you.
You too, likewise.
What of all those things kind of is the most important thing to you?
Most important, definitely working backwards. So the book.
Okay.
Being a New York Times bestseller, coming from, I always tell people this, and don't get tired of telling them the truth of it. Being an overweight, chubby kid, glasses, asthma, having a .6 GPA in high school, and then becoming a New York Times bestseller, that gets me every time. So that one's an accomplishment I'm gonna take with me.
It's not often that a guy who plays in the NFL is like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start writing books. Mm-hmm. What is it about you that makes you different?
In that fashion, what makes me different, I would say, I'm an autodidact. It means I'm intrigued to learn outside the form of normal education.
Okay.
So a self-learner.
Okay.
Just diving into different arts. And I love learning, but so it's like, why did I struggle in school? So writing books, I always write books and will continue to write books because I remember being a kid and we had to write a paper, an essay paper, and we had to write about our hero, right? And I decided to write about Dr. Martin Luther King at the time in high school. Said, all right, I'm gonna write about him. And I went to the library and I'm trying to find sources that I can cite, right? Because we had to put it in MLA format and so forth, cite your sources. And I couldn't find anybody to say exactly what I wanted them to say. So I got the bright idea to quote myself, right? Again, I'm in high school, the big red rim glass, big old chubby kid. I write a paper and I quote myself and I put the source was Rashad Jennings, mine.
That's amazing.
I turned it in and I got a big fat F. It was an F plus though, so it was cool.
F plus?
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
I got an F plus. And I went up to my teacher, Ms. Hudson. I said, Ms. Hudson, why did I get an F? And she looked at me and said, Rashad, because you quoted yourself. I said, is what I said true? She said, yes. I said, is what I said relevant to the paper? She said, yes. I said, so why'd I get an F? She said, because you're not a credible source. So I said, okay, Ms. Hudson, I got to go do something amazing in this world just to come back 20 years from now and say the exact same things for it to be true. If it's true now, it's going to be true later. Long story short, she said, get out of my face.
Just written like that.
Right. I get to the NFL, every Tuesday, I dedicate an hour in the community. There was one teacher that asked me to come to talk to their students. They were doing a research paper on professional athletes. I'm talking to the class and I'm watching them quote things I say. They turn it in, they get an A. I got every single A paper that was quoted by Rashad Jennings and went back to that high school and said, look at this. This is the type of thing that was holding me back. And it wasn't because I was a bad kid, it was because I was getting evaluated in a way that I don't think every kid should be evaluated. If you judge if you judge a fish by how well they can climb a tree, it's probably gonna think it's stupid.
Yes.
So
now that I'm picturing that,
that's what I'm gonna continue to write to inspire kids, to hopefully give them the ability to hurdle over some of the hurdles that I was fortunate enough to do and give them a new path.
So it's interesting. I feel like if you make it to the NFL, that's so many kids' dream. And if they make it to that level, that is the best thing that they can do in life. But I'm kind of getting the impression from you like that is not really what you want to be the best thing you ever did.
Definitely not. I always say this, and it's always going to forever hold true. If I'm only remembered as Rashad Jennings, NFL running back, I'm a failure in my books. I feel like God has given me a filter on how to see life that is unique, and we all are unique. And I recognize that. And, you know, the identification of a sport really to me is not fulfilling. The kind of person you are, your ability to navigate in different rooms, your ability to bring people together, your ability to make people better. Taking something and making more of it is truly what a blessing is, to take something and make more of it. And I want to be a blessing to as many people as I can, and to touch it and reach as many people as I can, I have to go in realms that they live in. And so writing books, dancing, football, polar opposites. You're coming from the most gladiator sport that the world offers, right? Man amongst men, right? And then you go gently dance. Polar opposites, and I love polar opposites because it teaches you so much. There's a lot of information and things that happen between the number 1 and 2. There's a lot that happen between A and B. And so inside of that, that's the kind of space I like to live in.
I feel like you probably stood out in an NFL locker room. Like that mindset that you have, it's nothing against most NFL guys, but like how was a locker room situation for you? I'm
the guy in the locker room that is, I'm an open vessel. You know, for a prime example, when I was on Dance with the Stars, right, a lot of guys hit me up, yo, man, what you doing on the show? Like, you think you twinkle toes on us? Right, that's the first 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks, they hit me up, hey, you kind of doing your thing, bro. I'm voting for you, man. I ain't never watched this show, but you doing your thing. The next 4 weeks, hey, listen, bro, I'm getting married, and I was thinking maybe you could give me some tips on these moves, you know, because so it progresses.
That's sweet.
So yeah, I'm the guy that people like to joke and have fun and make fun of sometimes, but when life hits,
yeah.
Hey, Rashad, I need to talk.
Oh, you're that guy.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. I think this is interesting. The Giants, if you look at a lot of guys who've played for that team, you, Michael Strahan, Victor Cruz, Tiki Barber, a lot of those guys handle TV really well. Do you feel like the Giants are looking for that when they choose their players?
That's interesting. I think I wouldn't necessarily say they look for guys that handle the media a particular way as much as they are looking for character guys. I do know that. Being inside the organization, knowing the owners, the mayor and the Tish, and how they operate, and the kind of guys they want to represent, you know, one of the biggest franchises in the U.S. So, yes, handling yourself a certain way is important. The character of a man is very important to the New York. But how you handle media, that's kind of an option. But if you're going to be in front of the camera, be conscious of your teammates. I think they do pay attention to that because it's New York. Anything you say can and will be held against you in media, both good and bad.
I always defended Odell Beckham Jr. because I feel like, especially at the receiver position, like there has to be that extra level of, like, I want to say crazy, but not in a bad way, right? To go out and do the things that you want to do. So I don't mind what he does on the sidelines because that seems like his personality. And if you were to take that away from him, you take away his game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily fit, I think, what most people would say you're saying the Giants look for.
We see passion, right? There's a thin line between giving somebody the label of passion or emotion. Some people want to say you're emotional. If you really look at it, you can also call out they're passionate, right? So some players in the league get labeled, oh, that's passion when they're angry and have their anecdotes on the sideline. And somebody else, they may say that's a distraction. He's emotional. So I think Odell's got a bad rep along the way. You know, he doesn't always help himself. But Odell's,
he's young though.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's a lovable guy, and he wants to be the best.
Check out our YouTube channel, Fair Game on FS1 to catch all the best highlights of our show. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.